My name is Jeff Morgan. I'm from Dallas, Texas, and I'm down here in Austin, Texas right now with Dr. David O'Connor, and it's so good to see you here. We had a great conference here at the Texas Values Conference.
We certainly did.
Yeah, and it was great. So we want to appreciate Texas Values for allowing us to be here and participate, and we're just talking about a couple of things right now. First off, Dr. David O'Connor, tell us a little bit about your background.
Hi, I'm Dr. David O'Connor. I am out of Cedar Park, North Austin area, and a little bit about my background. I'm a board-certified adult and child and adolescent psychiatrist for approximately almost 30 years and have been practicing in the state of Texas since about 2006. I previously practiced in Pennsylvania from the late 90s up until the time I relocated. I've had the honor and pleasure of taking care of adults and kids and teenagers in a variety of settings, including and presently in juvenile justice centers as well.
Great, great. And you are considered by many people to be an expert in your field. Would that be correct?
Yeah, as board-certified psychiatrist that gets recertified, we are considered experts in our field. That's very true.
Yeah. So I want to ask you a couple of things here with regard to your practice and stuff like that. But first off, you know, we just thought I would take a little diversion here. Hope you don't mind. But today we found out that the Attorney General for the state of Texas was acquitted of all charges. I know some of us talked about this as being the family courting of Ken Paxton. And what are your thoughts?
I think that in my experience, what I've experienced is a parallel system, actually, in which what I understand with Attorney General Paxton's case is that there were many assumptions and aspersions, but ultimately...
They all are facts. We gotta investigate the evidence.
It was
I heard a rumor that maybe this and maybe that.
With a lack of facts.
The family court to a T.
Yes, family court to a T. And I think many parents, including myself, have experienced that in the family courts.
Yeah. So, yeah, and it's good to hear your comments about that, so I'm not alone in thinking about the family court.
No, you're not alone in thinking about that.
And every single Democrat who was a senator voted that he was guilty of whatever. Every single one. And almost all of the Republicans, minus two, said that he acquitted him of all charges. And to continue the whole family court analogy of things, I mean, that was, I told somebody today, I guess justice is partisan. You know, injustice is partisan, whatever, but the same thing with the family courts. It tends to be, and again, there are exceptions, of course, but it tends to be that the person who would be most likely to be not acquitted, found guilty or whatever, would be the father by default. Just like with the Democrat senators, Ken Paxton was going to be, you knew no matter what the evidence was, no matter what the evidence or lack thereof was, you knew 14 senators, Democratic senators, for political purposes were going to find him to be guilty of the charges.
Right.
And so it doesn't make a difference what the evidence is. And the same thing with family courts. You know, all you have to do is cast an aspersion, like you said, make us, you know, this may have happened, that may have happened. Where's the evidence? It doesn't make a difference. You're a father, you're bad. And again, sometimes it happens to moms, but is that pretty accurate?
Yeah, I think it's an accurate and it's a fair statement. When you look at statistics across the state with each county, I mean, 99% of non-custodial parents are the father. If you bring that by a statistician, they're going to tell you, and we've already had one statistic, statistically by chance, impossible.
Yeah.
So there is, but there are many factors that weigh into that historically. But now that we realize and we have more of an awareness of it, we can't just go with a historical foundation for those percentages anymore. I think if we start from the fundamental protections of the child, the family, the parent, that's a better starting point.
Right.
You know, there are many advocates, there are many parents that have argued this point, there are many parents that have gone through the federal removal process fighting the system. And it just seems like, from what I understand from others, that they're penalized for this. They lose their children.
Very true. Very true.
There was another point that you made. I still have some faith I mean, if we didn't have absolute faith in the system that just occurred to Ken Paxton, he wouldn't have been acquitted.
Yeah.
So there was some driving force, some justice that was going on. I agree with the partisanship that you just mentioned. That's unfortunate, but I think through the system of justice, he prevailed. And I, of course...
Because there were more Republicans than Democrats.
Okay, well, I can't argue that, but I think there can be some faith in the judicial system, but we still have to be fighting for that.
We still have to be fighting
and
for
we
it.
have to be fighting for our children.
Yeah.
There are good judges out there, and I think you
Absolutely.
and I have experienced that.
Absolutely.
And I have experienced that, and I can accept their ruling if it's when it's a fair judge, but when it's not, that's a difficult thing for me, and I think that would be difficult for anybody.
Same thing with child custody evaluators, same thing with attorneys, same thing with the entire industry.
Anytime there's inequality, there's a natural human instinct to drive for equality.
Right.
And with the child custody situation with this ESPO and SPO, as it used to be, where there was less percentage, that provokes the natural human instinct to drive for equality that anybody would do. So that sets up a conflictual situation in and of itself.
Got it.
You know, and then in the divorce situation in which both parents are stressed, the children are stressed, and this is not a good time to assess the functionality of people like that, you know, and I understand there are advocates that say, well, there should be a delay time between the filing of a divorce and the actual finalization of a divorce, you know, to help alleviate some of that stressful time.
Right.